Sheikh Hasina meets NSA Doval near Delhi, may seek asylum in UK. In a televised address to the troubled nation, Bangladesh Army Chief General Waker-Uz-Zaman said the military will form an interim government and urged protesters to stand down. Bangladesh leader Sheikh Hasina met National Security Advisor Ajit Doval Monday evening after landing at the Hindon Air Force Base in Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad, around 30 kilometers from Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been briefed on the situation in Bangladesh by External Affairs Minister Mr Jaishankar. There is no word yet if Mr Modi will meet Mrs Hasina. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, who is the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, has also spoken to Mr Jaishankar. The two spoke briefly on the sidelines of the parliament, his party said. Hours earlier, the 76-year-old five-time Prime Minister had been forced to resign from her position after more than 300 people died in violent protests over a quota for government jobs in that country. Sheikh Hasina is expected to leave for London later, sources told NDTV, where she may seek political asylum. Sources told news agency A&I Sheikh Hasina's plane, a Bangladesh Air Force C-130 military transport, will be parked near the Indian Air Force's C-17 and C-130J Super Hercules aircraft hangars. Sources said Mrs Hasina's plane is being refueled for the flight to London. India's border security forces on high alert across the country's 4,096 kilometers border with Bangladesh, with field commanders ordered to take on ground positions and be prepared for anything. A 12-hour nighttime curfew is in effect in Meghalaya. Indian Railways has stopped all trains to Bangladesh and Air India has cancelled its 2 daily flights to Dhaka. Indigo has suspended all flights for the next 30 hours, in view of the situation in Dhaka. Flights scheduled for tomorrow have been cancelled. We understand this may cause significant inconvenience and disruption to your travel plans, and we sincerely regret this development, the airline said. Vistara, which operates flights from Mumbai, has said it is monitoring the situation, but the Tata Sums-owned airline has not announced any cancellations as yet. Dhaka's Shah Jalal International Airport had closed its operations for 6 hours, local media said. Meanwhile, the Bangladesh Army, which gave Sheikh Hasina 45 minutes to resign after her government couldn't control the violence, has taken control. In a televised address, Army Chief General Waker-Uz-Zaman said the military will form an interim government and told protesters to stand down. There is a crisis. I have met opposition leaders and we have decided to form an interim government to run this country. I take all responsibility and promise to protect your life and property. Your demands will be fulfilled. Please stop the violence, the army chief said. Earlier today, protesters broke into Ghaziabad, the Dhaka residence of the Prime Minister. Local media estimated as many as 400,000 protesters were on the streets, but it was impossible to verify the figure. Soldiers and police with armored vehicles had barricaded routes to Ms Hasina's office with barbed wire, AFP reporters said, but vast crowds flooded the streets, tearing down barriers. But by then the veteran politician had fled. 100 people were killed and over 1,000 injured in clashes that took place between police and protesters on Sunday alone. Since then the number of dead has crossed 300. The protests began late last month over a quota system that reserves up to 30% of government jobs for family members of veterans from Bangladesh's 1971 war against Pakistan.